In episode 123, Vegeta did do what we all thought he was going to do and surpassed his limitations. He broke his limits. So yes, technically that means that he is indeed Limit Breaker Vegeta. But that's not the name of the new transformation that Vegeta unlocked. As of this video, we don't know what the actual name of this form is, and we don't exactly know what kind of properties the form has. But we know for a fact that Vegeta does indeed have a new transformation that supersedes the power of Blue. And even though he did break his limits, this is not Ultra Instinct. It is not Migate no Gokui. It is something that is exclusive to Vegeta so far. Piccolo himself, who is a master martial artist and usually a good exposition character to explain things to the audience, refers to it as a different kind of power from Blue with boundless energy. So Vegeta has the form. We're going to see more of it as the series progresses, but what I want to discuss on this video is I want to talk about how Vegeta got the form and what drove him to breaking his limits, and how what I find very interesting is that what led to Vegeta breaking his limitations was very, very different from what led Goku to breaking his, and I found that to be extremely interesting, and I want to discuss that and go in depth about Vegeta's character and what's been going on with him. Let's get to it. What's going on, everyone? If you like the videos I'm putting out on this channel, remember to hit that like button. And remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you get all my content right to your device every time I upload. And I thank you for your continued support. I really think that the reason why Vegeta's character is so popular in Dragon Ball and why so many people love Vegeta is because Vegeta's character arc in Dragon Ball seems to be one that people can really relate to, and it's probably the most interesting arc of any character in the series, and Dragon Ball Super is in a way sort of continuing that. And because of this, I feel like Vegeta's character is still very interesting to talk about. Now, if you are new to the channel, I want to tell you that there are some other companion videos that go along with this one that are going to help me kind of illustrate my point. And I will leave links to these videos at the end of this one so you can check them out and get a better understanding of this topic. I did a video called The Prince of All Saiyans that talks about the culture of the race on planet Vegeta and how it affected Vegeta's upbringing. Did another video last week about Vegeta going beyond Ultra Instinct, which covered sort of the way he feels about himself now versus how he used to feel, which would actually lead to this form and lead to him sort of abandoning his obsession over surpassing Kakarot. And the third video you should check out if you haven't checked it out yet is the Ultra Instinct Transformation Explained video, because we're going to be referencing some of that stuff in this video. But let's go ahead and talk about it. So, in episode 123, Vegeta finds this new power, new transformation. Not much of an explanation as far as where it came from or where it was hiding, but the one thing we can grasp is that Vegeta broke his limitations, and he broke the limitations of what Blue is. That is unquestionably the case now. And yes, the credits actually hinted at this. So even though people love to make theories about the end credits animations, this time it was legitimate in that it would lead to this, mysterious new power, which as of right now still has no name. In fact, the biggest indicator of this is the Grand Priest, who says Vegeta-san appears to have broken through his shell too. So he's pretty much saying that what Vegeta did is very similar to what Goku did when he got Ultra Instinct. Now, I'm not saying that this new form is as powerful as Ultra Instinct. It's not about that. But what I find interesting is that both of them achieved it by going through similar yet very different circumstances and very different wills. And that's what I want to talk about here in this video. So during this whole thing, Vegeta remarks that he wants to fight as best he can. He wants to fight with his entire life on the line to get the Super Dragon Balls to wish Kaba back to life and the other Universe 6 Saiyans, which I thought was a tremendous level of character development for Vegeta, because it really shows the connection that Kaba has with Vegeta and that Vegeta has with Kaba, and the way that he sees this young Universe 6 Saiyan who he barely even knows. Now, that's going to be one point of contention right there, is why would Vegeta care so much about somebody who he doesn't know when the old Vegeta really wouldn't care? There are remarkable changes in Vegeta's character in Dragon Ball Super that I think are actually for the better. I actually feel that the way that Vegeta is being written in this series is I think, really well. I think it's very well written because it's creating sort of a real change in who he is. We've seen Vegeta change throughout all of Dragon Ball Z. We've seen him go from a ruthless space pirate who didn't give a damn about anything but himself and overthrowing Frieza to a guy who became obsessed with surpassing Kakarot. And the reason why he wants to surpass Goku is because of, like I mentioned in my previous videos, the fact that Vegeta has always been brainwashed from coming from a class-based system. He was always told his whole life that he was a super elite and that Kakarot and his kind were low level, but yet Vegeta was beaten by a low level and his ego and his arrogance could not come to terms. Now, this would come full circle in Dragon Ball Super Episode 122 when Vegeta pretty much told Jiren that his arrogance and his pride as a Saiyan is what motivates him. So even though Vegeta being obsessed with Kakarot may not have been so healthy for him, it of course would cause the whole Majin Vegeta debacle and all the mistakes that Vegeta made throughout his life. It's something to where now that time has passed, Vegeta has a family, he has more empathy, Vegeta is truly a changed man, but that arrogance and that pride to be the best will always be with him because that is what drives him to do incredible things, like breaking through his shell. Grand Prix says that Vegeta focused a power far beyond his normal Super Saiyan Blue within his body, so he's definitely stronger, and the motivation behind him being stronger is not just the fact that he wants to defeat Jiren and prove that he's the alpha dog, but also because he wants to bring Kaba back to life. And like I said, this is remarkable because one of the questions that I see coming up time and time again in this fandom from people who just don't understand Dragon Ball, they only watch the dub or they don't remember, people constantly ask, why did Vegeta never bring back the Saiyans? Why they never wish them back? Well, first of all, the Dragon Balls will not allow you to do that. Not talking about the Super Dragon Balls. The regular Dragon Balls will not let you bring back large groups that have been dead for over a year, so you forgot that rule. And the other reason is because Vegeta does not care about the Saiyans. Even though Vegeta constantly would talk about how he is the prince of all Saiyans and his Saiyan pride, he does not care about a bunch of dudes that have been dead for several years. He doesn't give a damn, especially not later on when he would become a husband, a father, and would become the Vegeta that we know of, now. But the thing that I think people misunderstand about Vegeta that you have to really understand is that Vegeta doesn't give a damn about the dead Saiyans. He doesn't care about bringing back Planet Vegeta. Even if he could, he wouldn't. But there is something there. There is a motivating factor there. So check it out. The character of Vegeta does care about the Saiyan race, but only from a completely egotistical perspective, not from an empathetic point of view. What do I mean by this? He doesn't care that they're all dead. He cares that he is one of them, that he has the warrior blood running through his veins, and as a result of that warrior blood, he is able to achieve things that regular mortals cannot achieve, such as surpassing his limitations time and time again. We've seen in Dragon Ball from the beginning all the way through Z, all the way through Super, that these guys are always at their limit and somehow figure out a way to surpass these limitations. Even back in the Namek arc, when Goku was fighting Frieza, he was fighting at his absolute limit, and it wasn't enough until he transformed. That's just how it is with this warrior race of Saiyans, and Vegeta recognizes that, and he is proud to be a member of the race, but he doesn't care that everybody else is dead because he had no emotional connection to them. He has an emotional connection to his wife, to Trunks, to Goku, and yes, I would even say Kaba himself. So Vegeta's motivating factor to defeat Jiren was very similar to Gohan in the past, which is to do what we would consider a very noble and selfless thing, which is bring Kaba back to life and the rest of the universes. Not something that the old Vegeta would ever do or even cared about. Think about it. He could have wished for immortality. He could wish for extreme power. But no, he wants to bring people back from the dead, and this makes him a good person. But we already knew he was a good guy at the end of the Buu arc when he did a lot of selfless things in that saga at the end of Dragon Ball Z. With Dragon Ball Super, however, I feel like it's even more interesting because Vegeta's connection to his race and his pride for his race is still something that's deep within his core, something that's still a part of who he is, a part that is going to be a motivating factor besides his ego, like I said, and his connection to his race. See, it all comes together. It's all one big connection here, and that is why Vegeta was able to break his limits differently from Goku, not just in the way it happened, but also with the fact that he did it and discovered something truly great that is not Ultra Instinct, and it's all because of the motivating factors that made him who he is. See, you can still be a person who uses their pride and their ego to motivate them to achieve great things while still having empathy for other people. And Vegeta, with his case, he went from having a completely egotistical perspective on who he was and his culture to having a better understanding that others like him deserve to exist. Dragon Ball Super is not the best written show ever. It's definitely got a lot of problems, which I've talked about before, but I think that the writing of Vegeta's character has been some of the best stuff that they've put together for sure, and I think it's something that is going to be fun to analyze and discuss going forward, as we have done for the past few weeks and as we will continue to do in the future. Thank you for checking out the video. If you are new to Geekdom 101, punch that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We talk about in-depth, deep topics here. I think that my audience is very, very intelligent, especially compared to some other audiences out there, and I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'm sure you get it, and it's fun to talk about. Thank you. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to y'all soon. And oh, don't forget what I said. If you haven't seen these videos, here they are.